All right, last night was Super Bowl 60 and it was streaming on NBC and on Peacock. I watched it and we had the pleasure of having the great Coco Jones, according to the Black media, to perform the Black National Anthem for Super Bowl 60. She also wore an outfit resembling the 1991 outfit that the legendary Whitney Houston wore in homage, paying homage to her and wearing it in this year's 2026 Super Bowl 60 while she sang the Black National Anthem. And Coco Jones did a great job. I'm ready to run it back. Y'all check it out on YouTube. Now, I am not a fan of football, but according to US Weekly, Lady Gaga came out to sing Die With a Smile with Bad Bunny at Super Bowl 60. And the reason why she was there is because apparently, I just learned this today, shout out to the Morning Cheese Made podcast, that Bad Bunny is a big fan of Lady Gaga. And it was shout out to Lusima, who let us know that the color of the blue of the dress that she wore is the color of the Puerto Rican flag before it became an independent nation. So shout out to them. Also featured in the Super Bowl performance was Ricky Martin coming out to have his own solo, and it was incredible. I'm excited to run it back. Y'all could catch the 14-minute halftime show still streaming on YouTube. Shout out to Netflix and Apple Music for sponsoring. Oh, not Netflix. I'm sorry. The NFL and Apple Music. And during his performance, Bad Bunny gave this little boy one of his Grammys. Of course, this was a symbol of the Grammys. And to me, it symbolizes him giving his inner child an award that he worked hard for. And come to find out, this little man is actually a child actor. So this is such a cute homage to him and his inner child, and winning the Grammys just last week for the album of the year. And also for winning the best Urbana Musica albums, the best urban album for his most recent album. And he won Album of the Year. And of course, as I mentioned before, he also won Musica Urbana Musica album for his most recent album, Debí Timar Más Fotos, that was released last year. I'm so excited for Bad Bunny. Also featured at the halftime show was an actual real life couple, according to USA Weekly, that got married during the Super Bowl halftime show. Congratulations to that couple. Congratulations to the newlyweds. Also, we had Bad Bunny dancing on top of a car. My name is Andrew Morning. For those of you who don't know, I am a Haitian American, and I am also Dominican, Cuban, and French. So shout out to Bad Bunny for shouting out my Afro-Latina roots. Shout out to the Dominican Republica. Shout out to my Cubano ancestors. This was so exciting to see. And this just reminds me, as a Haitian that lives in Connecticut, the Puerto Ricans on Puerto Rican Flag Day, Puerto Rican Day Parade, they really be on top of the cars dancing. And this just reminded me of that. I had to share that with you guys. And this is how the Super Bowl ended. And on a big screen, I forgot to get an image of that, it says, "Love is stronger than hate." Shout out to Bad Bunny for using his fame, for using his platform to support immigrants and to speak up against ICE. Also, guys, I couldn't finish this Super Bowl 60 recap, without telling y'all, shout out to, according to the Black media, to the Seahawks, who won the 2026 Super Bowl 60, the Seattle Seahawks Seattle Seahawks won 29 versus the New England Patriots, who lost with 13 points. So congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks for taking home the Super Bowl this year. With everything in life, there are also critics. So former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and then Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum Taylor Armstrong was not happy about the Super Bowl halftime show. She said, "Were you entertained? I am embarrassed for NFL and Apple." Taylor Armstrong later on went to the Real Housewives of OC, and these are some of the thoughts she had to share, according to US Weekly. And all I have to say when it comes to Taylor Armstrong is I could barely recognize her with all the cosmetic surgery she's had done over the years. She's not the same person that I knew and I'm an OG Real Housewife of Beverly Hills watcher. She's not the same person that I last saw. Talking all that shit, looking like you do. Please. All right. And according to US Weekly, in the full length, here's what this bitch Taylor Armstrong had to say. Armstrong relayed her own perspective via an Instagram story that saw her replace the head of Russell Crowe's Enraged Gladiator character with a photo of her own, saying, "Were you entertained? I'm embarrassed for the NFL and Apple and Apple for the Super Bowl halftime show, totally in Spanish with a Cuban flag, it was a Puerto Rican flag, bitch. You don't even know the right flag. She wrote alongside an image. And here's what former Real Housewives of New York alum had to say. This racist Zarin. Here's what Jill Zarin had to say. This racist bitch Zarin had to say, it was worst. It was the worst halftime show ever, Zarin 62 said. In a since deleted and video later reposted via X, which is formerly Twitter, by a fan. I just don't think it was appropriate to have it in Spanish, and quite frankly, grabbing his groin area, I think it was totally inappropriate. You've got all these young kids watching the Super Bowl, and he doesn't have to be grabbing himself every 5 seconds because he's so insecure. Seriously, you sound like a fucking hater. Next, she continues saying, I don't speak Spanish. I would have liked to have known what the words were saying. A lot of people that tuned in didn't speak Spanish. I'm Afro-Latina, so I understood, I'm going to say about half of what was being said, but it was about the feeling, it was about the vibe, it was about the message. And being that Bad Bunny said what he said, but he was still very patriotic in his post. To me, it looked like a political statement, which is was, bitch. You're mad that your whiteys are getting erased. Because there was literally no white people in the entire thing. I'm taking a side one way or another. I think it was an ICE thing. I think the NFL sold out, and it's very sad. She thinks that NFL is siding with ICE. And you sound like a blatant racist on national television. I hope your show, Golden Life, coming on E fails, bitch. Oh, racist. I don't like you. Lastly, she said, Jaron also took aim at Bad Bunny's guest performer, Lady Gaga, within her critique of the show. Lady Gaga got a facelift. I didn't recognize her. I literally had to Google her face to see who it was because we all couldn't agree who it was. That was kind of fun in the middle of the halftime show. At least it gave us something to do because it was hard to watch. Here's the thing, Jill. Don't watch, bitch. Fucking Zarin's bitch ass. Gaga, 39, has not spoken about getting a facelift, but Zarin underwent one in 2024. Yeah, you sound like you're projecting. Thou does protest too much. Anyway, guys, this concludes your Super Bowl 60 recap. Thanks for letting me rant, and I'll be back with some more updates.